All right. I'm hoping I'm hoping you guys can hear me. All right. Can you guys hear me? Please somebody say that they can hear me or whatever. We're good now. I'm seeing 5x5s. I'm hearing clicking. Gotcha. There you are. Cut live 5x5s. Okay. All right. So let me explain what happened here. I am now doing this through my laptop and the webcam on my laptop because as I usually do it on my phone, as you guys know, I flip the phone back and forth when we have contests and things like that. The live stream come up for like 3 seconds and then YouTube would shut down. And I'm like, okay, I don't know what the hell's going on. I must have tried this 10 times. And so when I went to try to do it on the laptop and get into the old live stream, it just was circle, 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 go nothing. So hence I tried starting a new one. I don't know what the hell they're doing, but I promise you guys this. It's not operator error. It's like every time I try to do something, try to do this live stream, they're messing with me. And I swear to God, it is them trying to silence me. I am basically certain of that. So, but we'll figure it out. So here we are. Yeah, I'm sorry, 11 minutes wasted. RL. That's the thing. There's no way to test beforehand because if I try to test it, it goes live, and if I try to test it at 5:30, then the live stream starts, and can't do anything. So, unfortunately, this is the crap we got to deal with because all these six-figure IT people working for Google are probably all from the Middle East somewhere, and nobody has a clue how to do anything about IT. So I apologize if the picture's a little grainy because it's obviously my webcam and it's not a high def camera like a new phone is. So, but hopefully you guys can hear me. Microphone on the computer I'm hoping is picking up well. So, but I saw enough 5x5s. So, Appalachian American says YouTube's having issues tonight. This is the second one so far that's had problems. Yeah, and Leslie saying delete the YouTube app from the phone and reinstall it. I'm going to do that after we're done. I wasn't going to try that now. I mean, try to get in because I know you guys have been sitting around waiting for this. But my apologies. That's what was going on. So one of these days we will get, the old people who used to work at YouTube for 3.5 years who knew what they were doing could actually come back to work. But I guess we've spent too much time hiring H-1Bs who are incompetent. We know that, just like everything, all the stories coming out of, I don't know if you guys caught this one, stories coming out of Springfield, Ohio today. It's not that there's a big cat and dog diner opening. It's, oh, you happen to have people in Springfield who have business owners, especially a guy who owns a temp agency, okay, who's been importing Haitians from Florida, picking them up, like you see these guys, the Hispanic guys standing in a Home Depot parking lot, trying to find day work. They're going down, picking up all the Haitians down in Florida, driving them up to Ohio, and then putting them to work in the plants around there. And I guess there's a Dole pineapple plant up there that's where they've been sending these guys to work. And they're putting them, 20 guys to a dilapidated house that they bought, that this agency bought for $20,000, puts 20 guys in there to go work all the shifts at Dole. So, if you want another company to boycott Dole Pineapple because they're taking American jobs. Yeah, that was the fun one this afternoon. If you saw after I posted the lunch video mid-afternoon today, Trump came out and told Kamala Harris to go kick rocks about doing a late October debate on with her, and again, like I said, Kamala Harris is getting her ass kicked so bad. I guess now they're at the risk of losing Virginia and New Hampshire, as well as her polling behind in all of the other swing states. So right now, the best guess is somewhere Trump gets between 312 and 326 electoral votes based on the current polling, because you got New Hampshire and Virginia that are both tied. And I mean, New York and Minnesota could feasibly both be in play, though I don't see Minnesota flipping. Though there are enough people in Minnesota that hate Tim Walz too. So that's fine. I mean, I just wish this freaking election was over because I am just absolutely sick of the BS that's coming out of the media and Hollywood and the lies and, just all the crap. I just want it over. Let's announce that Trump is the next president. Let's put Joe Biden in a pine box and dump him out in the middle of the Pacific somewhere, and let's move on. So, but we haven't got to October yet. There'll be an October surprise. Of course, you probably saw today the Moab, mother of all bombs, that Israel used in Lebanon today. There was original talk if it was a tactical nuke. No, it wasn't that bad. They were hitting ammunition depots and missile launching silos and stuff like that they've gotten their mobile missile launchers in Lebanon. So yeah, that's ramping up. You probably caught I didn't talk about it, but I mentioned it this morning. Joe Biden running the first cabinet meeting in 11 months. So I guess we have our first female president. I don't know. Maybe that was Edith Wilson, Woodrow Wilson's wife, or Eleanor Roosevelt, when the two of them were too incompetent to do their job. It's just one of those things. It's like, why is it always the Democrats that need the wife to run the things? I don't know. Interesting. And I know somebody could say, oh, gee, Nancy Reagan, but Nancy wasn't exactly running anything. We didn't have a whole lot of stuff coming up from her astrologer telling us what to do. So that was it. Around here, it's been a busy few days since the last time I talked to you guys live. I had to replace a couple of faucets in the house. That was fun doing that. One was easy. The reason I had to do it was because over time you get, especially sinks that we don't use, and very hard water around here, they get calcium buildup inside the sink. And it's either take the entire faucet apart and buy all new parts to the inside of the faucet, or put a new faucet in. So we put 2 new faucets in just to increase the water flow. Figure we'll do it now while we can. One was easy. The one bathroom that's got drawers in the cabinet, that one was fun. It's like, all right, let me dislocate a shoulder to get up there to try taking water lines out. But we eventually got it done. It was out about killing fire ants. Found 2 more hills today as I was cleaning out gardens, so I was doing that again. Bottled up 13 bottles of muscadine wine yesterday. That's all done. Blueberry wine is brewing. Enjoying the little extra of the muscadine in here. So that's that. Anything else of any excitement? No, that's pretty much it. So, all right. So there's the fun. And yes, I will carry on a little long today to make up for the 10 minutes, though I was watching the UT Oklahoma game. And let's see, it's still 12-3 right now. So it'd be nice to see UT go into Norman and beat the Sooners. But sorry for all you guys that live in Oklahoma. I know you're rooting the other way, but I'm still going to root this way. All right, so let's get into Q&A. As per normal, if you got questions for me, please put them in all caps. It just makes it easier for me to find everything here in the chat room, which is going to be even more difficult because I got to watch the screen and the chat on the same computer. And then the only rule, as per normal, treat each other in here with dignity. Don't need anybody bitching, complaining, moaning, arguing. I don't mind difference of opinion. That's cool. Okay. That's how conversations go. But just be polite in your disagreement. Disagree with me. That's fine. Just be polite. All right. Let's get to the top. Let me see if I can blow that up. Oh, let me. There we go. Yeah, so I can see a little bit. Eyes are getting a little rough as I get older. Okay. All right. Let's see. Yeah, we already said that. Okay. Thank you, Juju. She says I'm worth the wait. I appreciate that. I'm glad you guys did find me over here. All right. Frank Drebin, better this happening rather than the issue with you or Mrs. P or PBJ. Tell me about it. Now, and you bring up something, I will give you this. And my ex sister in law, so my ex wife's sister, and I talked to PBJ earlier this week, and I never got along with her, but I mean, I wouldn't wish this on anybody. They were over at another relative's house, swimming in the pool in the backyard, and she dove into the pool, hit her head on the bottom of the pool, compressed 3 discs in her neck. And as of, it was either Tuesday or Wednesday, I talked to PBJ, and she was paralyzed. Fortunately, she had started to get some movement back in her fingers and toes. So, prayers for her, no problem whatsoever. But I mean, from what PBJ was telling me, she's got 2 to 4 months in the hospital at least. And it brings up, something that you think about is you never know what's going to happen day to day. We all hope to live a long, happy, healthy life, but any one of us could get in the car on the way to Walmart and that's it. Okay. Unfortunately, we don't know when our last breath is going to be. When God decides it's time to come home, it's time to come home. You don't know about what medical bills you can have. And I'm assuming there's plenty of you guys that have gone through something similar with medical bills or whatever. It can really throw a curve at people. Remember that when you're doing your preps. And I've talked about it before about having a will put together, having your last wishes known by your family, making sure your affairs are in order, that your spouse knows all the passwords, if you will, to bank accounts or an investment accounts or combos to a safe, anything like that. Make sure that information is known by more than you. So it was something that hit home this week, obviously much more for my ex and for PBJ. But I wouldn't wish that on anybody. Even if they were voting for Kamala Harris, I still don't want to see anybody paralyzed. You come shoot at me, I want to see you unalived, but jumping in a pool, no. North Alabama hiking. Me and a friend went hiking in Bankhead Forest today. No cell service. Had a flat tire and found out the spare was flat. Let's just say we had a stroke of luck and got home. Lesson: check your spare. Yeah, and we've talked about preps to have in your car at any given time. You should always have a air pump in your. You can get those little ones that you plug into your cigarette lighter for about $30. If you don't have one of those, put it on your Christmas list. Okay. You should have some Fix-A-Flat. You should have an extra can of antifreeze. You should have at least a quart of oil or something just in case something happens. But yeah, as North Alabama hiking saying, check your spare. That's part of your maintenance for your car. PMCS, old Army acronym for preventive maintenance and care and service on your vehicle. You should be doing that on your vehicle at least once a month. I'm not saying go take it in and check have somebody check the brakes or whatever, but you should go through and check, your oil level to make sure you're not leaking oil, check your antifreeze, check your windshield wiper fluid, check your windshield wiper blades, check your light bulbs, make sure everything works. We get too used to, well, they check my lights and they check all that when I go get my oil changed. I have to change my oil like every 6 months. Okay. So it's, am I going to drive around with a busted out taillight for 5 months? There's a good chance I get a ticket for that. Check your spare. It's worth it. It's good tip. Thank you. Blackjack 22. I've been blacklisted. Go figure. Gee, I wonder why. I tell the truth. The liberal media can't handle that. Hecton Gibbous. I love Infotech. It went from Control-Alt-Delete to just delete and reinstall the app. What next? Jump off a cliff and hope I don't come back in an era where it doesn't suck. Yeah, don't you love that when you call up anybody, I mean, I had it one time when I called up EcoFlow on tech support on one of my generators. And the first thing the guy says to me, he goes, "Well, did you shut it off and turn it on again?" And I wanted to reach through the phone and strangle this guy. Like, how freaking, how stupid are you? Most of us have had computers and cell phones for 25 plus years. The first thing you do with everything is shut it off, wait 30 seconds, and see if it works again. You don't have to tell me that. I've tried that. You know, it's like, gee, my light doesn't work. Is it plugged in? Come here. Mortimer, do I think Kamala would still be the Democrats' nominee if we didn't all vote for her in the primary election? No, I do not by any means whatsoever. Not that anybody ran against Biden, no big surprise. But I would pretty much bet if they did a primary, we'd probably be talking about Bernie Sanders again. Remember, they stole the nomination from Bernie Sanders in 2020. And not that I want, trust me, I'm not a Bernie Sanders fan, okay? But that was who the morons on the left wanted to run until the powers that be said, no, we need to put somebody who's brain dead in the White House, and they put Joe Biden in. But don't you love how for the last 3 elections, the person that the public wanted on the Democrat side wasn't the nominee. They didn't want Hillary Clinton. They didn't want Joe Biden. And they don't want Kamala Harris. But that's who their choice is. And all of a sudden, it's like, oh, she's the greatest thing since sliced bread. 2 months after they were trying to figure out how to toss her off the ticket because she has the lowest favorability rating of any vice president in modern history. So there's that. But yeah, no, I don't think she would have been the nominee at all. I mean, and again, you go back to 2020. She was so disliked that she didn't even make it to the primaries. She had already dropped out of the race before you even had Iowa. Flint McRock, we have so many Haitians here, it's nuts. They're everywhere. I don't know where you are, but if you're up near Springfield, Ohio, I would agree. Gigi's Garden, thank you for being here and dealing with YouTube. I do what I can, guys. I mean, I know, a lot of usually I'll put these things up 4 or 5 hours ahead of time. And I know a lot of you guys get in there and socialize. And I feel really bad when this thing doesn't work. I'm like, holy crap, this is what was going through my head, here, top of the hour. I'm like, I really hope I can get it going on the computer because I really don't want to cancel the live stream because it doesn't work when all you guys have been waiting a good amount of time for it. And I know, for a lot of us, this is part of our Saturday night routine, including me. I enjoy doing this. So, Rick's Corner, what do I use my pressure can potatoes for? I will tell you the best way to have them is to, one of 2 ways are the best. Either fry them up like home fries with some onions, just get some butter and fry it up. They come out better than if you use fresh potatoes that way. They taste better to me. The other way that is really good is if you make like a potatoes au gratin with them. Put some cheddar cheese in or anything like that. Those are really good. Now, obviously, Mrs. P and I haven't had potatoes in a while. And, so everything that we made that we still had and everything we grew this year all got canned and it's all on the shelf. Don't know what's going to happen. Okay, I've got them. We get down to goal weight and we plan on working some of that stuff in again. We were actually talking about our garden plans for next year today because one of the things I was doing today was cleaning out gardens, like fire ants and stuff like that. So it's starting to get all weed fabric rolled up and everything done, grass clippings, compost put down, that sort of stuff. But we were talking about the garden plan for next year, and one of the things, we're not growing potatoes next year. We're going to grow sweet potatoes next year. And again, this is me going through my pantry. We're getting low on sweet potatoes. Not that we've eaten that much over the summer, but okay, we're going to have some with turkey on Thanksgiving. All right, so I need some. Got to grow something. But I've got 100+ jars of white potatoes. I don't need any more right now, so I'm going to grow some sweet potatoes because I want to have some starches. So we're going to grow our cabbage, but we're going through, okay, this is what we're not growing next year, and what are we going to grow instead? RLRL, incoming salmonella outbreak. Okay, don't know what from, but God knows we hear enough about, the lettuce is tainted or the kale is tainted. We're hearing that all sorts of stuff. Off-grid living. Whoops. There we go. Economy is booming. GM let around 1,700 employees go at a Kansas plant. Motel 6 bought out by an Indian company. Yay. There we go. Great. Not that Motel 6 is probably leaving a light on for anybody anymore. Somebody had to get an Indian company in there to be a guy back in the back room pedaling a bicycle. But GM laying off people. Bidenomics is working great. We can have more Indian hotel workers and less Americans working in jobs that you can actually raise a family on. Laura Story, thank you for the super chat donation for the Christmas fund for my YouTube frustration. Thank you. That's good. So, that's it. We're 7 weeks away or whatever it is from Thanksgiving, somewhere thereabouts, which is around when, well, it is not around. That's when we do the Christmas fundraiser. And that's also when we start the Christmas trivia contest. So I hope you guys have been paying attention because I've already dropped a couple of the answers in videos or in live streams here. So hopefully you're paying attention. It'll be fun. I don't remember how many live streams we have between Thanksgiving and Christmas this year, but and just because I did look at this, I believe Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve, I want to say they're on Tuesdays. Let me just look real. Whoops, wrong button. There we go. There. Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve are on Tuesday this year. So we will not be doing live streams on Christmas Eve or New Year's Eve. Just giving you a big time heads up. CNC Bluebird 89. Gun shop worker said she was ordered to not follow the law for migrants in Springfield. How? What? She, could sell them a gun without running them through a background check, state, I guess, Ohio Bureau of Investigation background check or whatever. That would be real interesting because I'd be like, if I work at the gun store, I'm like, nope, sorry, you don't have ID. You're not a U.S. citizen. You can't fill out your form. Sorry, you're done. No, I'm not selling to you. And if they're like, you can't do that, it's discrimination. Good, then if I don't have to do it for him, I don't have to do it for anybody, right? I mean, one of y'all sent me an email today saying their granddaughter had applied for jobs at Michael's, the craft store, whatever, and said she put in her application and it was immediately thrown off to the side. She was immediately rejected. So she waited a little bit, put in the exact same application and said she was Hispanic. She's got an interview on Tuesday. Like the guy said, it's not a lie. Her grandfather is Cuban. But if she said she was white, they didn't want to talk to her. I said, you print out both of those applications and show exactly what happened. I said, you call an employment attorney. I said, your daughter may not need to work anymore. She may own the freaking store, because I hate to tell you this, discrimination, no matter what direction, is illegal. And DEI does not protect you from discrimination law. So, Cersei is good. Donald Trump should not do that debate. No way. I absolutely agree. Russell K. I saw that the mayor of the city, again, Springfield, was caught renting apartments to the government for them to live there. Yep, that's another one. You've got corrupt politicians. You also saw the governor of Springfield, Ohio, told Trump not to come because it would be too much of a strain on his police force. Yeah, I don't think that's going to be too much of a problem. A, as incompetent as the Secret Service is, Trump kind of brings his own police force. And B, I think there's probably plenty of people in a city that is 90% Republican who would be more than happy to be his ground support. Tom S. Logansport, Indiana, taking 25,000 immigrants for Tyson Food. Well, I guess we can add, this is what we need to do, guys. We need to get this information out. Bowl Pineapple, guess you're shut out. Tyson Food. Hey, if you're hiring immigrants and not Americans, right here. Okay. No, I mean, look what we did to Bud Light. Look what everybody did to Tractor Supply. Didn't put them out of business, but all of a sudden the people are going, crap, we're screwed. Look at Disney. When they start pissing off Americans, the best thing we can do is vote with their money. Annie, whatever happened to it being illegal for companies to hire illegals? Oh, it's still completely illegal. Okay. You can't do it. But this is the whole thing that they've been trying to push for, at least since 2010, and it may be beforehand, maybe back to 2008, the E-Verify. Okay. You hear that from? That is to check and make sure that everybody is a U.S. citizen, has a valid Social Security card, is eligible to work. And take a guess which political party is against E-Verify. I'll give you two guesses. The first one doesn't count. Okay. Yeah. No, because the Democrats, the liberals, which are the party of the uber rich, in case you haven't noticed, well, how are they going to hire their housekeepers or their nannies or their gardeners or their chauffeurs? Well, of course, you're Eric Swalwell, and then you just sleep with a tiny spy. But it's the Democrats that are trying to get illegals to take American jobs. They want, look at the whole thing of the SAVE Act, and that's a total, I'm glad the thing didn't pass because it's stupid. Okay. The Constitution says in it 3 times that only citizens vote. Right? Read the damn. We got a bunch of people making laws in the country that don't even know what the ultimate rule of law in the country is. But yeah, they are all. This country would be a hell of a lot better if we got rid of every frickin' liberal. In Congress, in the courts, in the country. Okay. And you know me, I'm still a proponent of balkanization of this country. We just let the liberals have New England, let them have the West Coast. I don't give a shit. In 6 months, they will be begging to come back because their utopia doesn't exist. Robert Bates, I agree with you. Sick of all the politics right now. Everyone knows who they're voting for. The people that, and I 100% agree with you, because they're saying the 3% of the people that are still undecided. I'm like, really? How in the hell can you be undecided? You've had 7.5 years to see what the two candidates can and cannot do, or will and will not do. Decide which one you like better. Are you pro-fracking? Are you anti-fracking? Are you pro-gun? Are you anti-gun? Are you pro-life? Are you pro-choice? Are you pro-crime? Are you anti-crime? It's pretty freaking obvious. Sit down and go, for a minute, get your nose out of the phone and off of Facebook and make a freaking decision. We don't need more debates. None of the ads on TV are going to change anybody's mind. I don't care. The rallies are fun, but nobody's going to the rally going, I really want to hear what Donald Trump says because I'm not sure. Right. Demo, Waltz's own family is voting Trump. Yes. Oh, I know. I mean, Lady Gaga's father is voting Trump. I mean, the people with the brain are voting for Trump. The people without a brain are voting for the candidate without a brain. Uh, Old Biscuit 54. There are lots of jobs, but not if you're an American. Pretty interesting concept. That's very true. Very, very, very true. And it's no different than renting apartments. You walk in and rent an apartment, and you're white, and they go, you don't know. Try that one. Right? Wait till it starts coming into medical. And I love when you hear this, you get these radical racists, okay, and I don't care if they're black, they're Hispanic, they're Asian, they're whatever. See, this is what we've had to live with for the past X amount of years. No, sorry, no. Up until 2008, or by 2008, racism in the United States was pretty much completely dead. Okay? I mean, sure, there were still a few here and there, but not much. And then we had the Great Kenyan Experiment, who made it his sole purpose in life to instill racism back in the country. And the entire Democrat Party grabbed on and said, you know what? We need to stoke racism everywhere we can. I always love when they call Trump a racist. Yet, Martin Luther King's widow supports him. And he's got awards from Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton and the black communities all over the place. But now all of a sudden, when he's not a Democrat anymore, oh my God, he's persona non grata. Right? I'm sorry, it doesn't work that way. Everybody says, "Oh, Trump changed his views on things." Sure, slightly, okay. But if you go back and think about this, the policies that Trump has now pretty much haven't changed. He's still I'd say, probably, if you go back and judge him by the 1970s ideals, he's a Democrat by the 1970s ideals. The conservative movement has come that far to the center. So somebody who was slightly left of center in the 1980s is now considered a far-right Republican. It's just that the Democrats have gone so far left that rather than being the party of the working man, they've now become the party of the uber rich and the illegals. They're not even the party of the poor anymore. You're either uber rich or you are a slave. That's Democrats. They're going back to the way they were back in the 1860s when they were the party of the uber rich, the slave owners. And they want to bring the slaves back. Biden's comment of put you back in chains. I tell you this, if you study your history, you will see the policies of the Democrats now mirror the policies that the Democrats had before the Civil War. Go look it up. I'm not kidding. Steve Sams, have I seen the stories of multiple teams targeting Trump? Yes, Alex Jones had a little bit on it yesterday, and then there was something more he put out today, and I didn't get to it because I was watching the UT game. But yes, I guess there were supposedly, according to Alex Jones, there were 5 different teams out there with a mission to assassinate Trump. And I'm right to I would put money on it that there's going to be another attempt on his life before the election. Rocky Button saw Jill sitting at the head of the table. Yeah, that was her leading the cabinet meeting. Lily's pawpaw, no matter what the polls say, still got to get out and vote. Absolutely. I mean, the line, whoever coined the line "too big to rig," that's what it's got to be. Because you go back and look, Trump got more votes than any other president in the history of the United States, including the great black dope, Barack Obama, who had more votes than anybody else. Biden won less counties and less states, or not, no, it's less counties and something else than Barack Obama. Yet still managed to get, was it 17 million votes more than Barack Obama? Well, the population of the United States did not grow. And all of a sudden, we had 154 million votes cast with 139 million registered voters. Hmm? Okay. And nobody found that as odd. Yeah. Trump didn't lose in 2020. I don't care how anybody spins it. He didn't lose. There were millions upon millions upon millions of votes that were double counted, triple counted, 100 times counted so they could make Joe president. And the only thing that I keep saying is, thank God, if you want to look at any sort of bright spots that Trump didn't get stay in the White House, is that if Trump didn't stay in the White House, chances are right now we've got an election between Mike Pence and Bernie Sanders. And that would be a lose-lose situation. Amigo Montoya, best civilian way to stop an armored vehicle. Okay, so now it depends if you're talking like a BMP, or if you're talking a full track vehicle, if you're talking about a half track, or if you're talking about an armored vehicle on wheels. The best way, and we talked about this about a year or so ago, is if you've got somebody with a backhoe, is to find a choke point in the road somewhere and dig a trench in the road, preferably about 8 or 10 feet deep, and preferably about 20 feet wide. So if the tank goes in, it goes in. Otherwise, there ain't a whole lot. Again, I don't think BLM or Antifa have any armored vehicles. So at that point, you're talking about where we have a military of some sort going up against us. If you want to have a little bit of fun, and this is going to go way back, right? Maybe some of you remember this movie. This had to be an early 80s movie. Go look up the movie Tank, Tank, with James Garner. It's actually a decent movie. Okay, it's not a war movie or anything like that. It's an entertaining movie. Okay, go watch that. That'll give you ideas of how to stop a civilian in the civilian world and what doesn't work. But that's pulling one out of the Wayback Machine. Ultra Mega Patriot. We're also Bud Lighting Love's truck stop. Okay, I know what a Love's truck stop is. Not like I go to. There's not one around me, but yeah, I don't know why. Let me know. Caveman, look. If you're not in the White House, is there a log of visitors? Okay, I'm trying to read between the lines. I mean, are you saying like if the president's not in the White House, he's up in Delaware or something like that? Joe on one of his 40% of his time on vacation. Do they still take a log of visitors? Absolutely, yes. Wanda Anthony, I voted yesterday, the first day of early voting in my state. I was surprised at the large turnout so soon. Yes, I voted for Trump, trying to get a couple of friends to vote at all. I'm not surprised. If it was the first day, I'm not surprised. The first day, that was when everybody was going to go. Okay, it's like, all right, let me get there, let me get it over, and wait till the second, third day. I'll bet you the line is a lot less. I mean, we've still got 7 weeks. What, 45 days, 44 days left. Susan Lather, pinball, love the hat. Glad it's back. I just wear different ones. It's like I told Mrs. P. I said, I need a hat. It's like I went over to the rack. I'm like, I haven't done a fedora in a while. I'll do the fedora tonight. My opinion on the October surprise. I'm going to give two guesses. Okay, complete, and these are complete guesses. That either we wind up officially in a war, okay, either with Russia because of all us, allowing Ukraine to use our missiles into Russia, uh, possibly with all the terrorist factions in the Middle East, possibly with Iran. Which, if we go to war with Iran, that should be over. Let's put it this way: if we went to war with Iran and I was the president, that war would be over in 30 minutes. Okay? And Pyrex would have a endless supply of glass. But it's either going to be war or what I think is almost more likely is Joe Biden steps down in October and they inaugurate Kamala Harris so they can say the first female president and try to ride that wave into November. That if and again, these are complete guesses. There's inevitably something that I have no idea about. That would be my best guess. Old Biscuit 54. Would dragging Haitians 1,000 miles to somewhere and forcing them to live in poor conditions and work 100 hours a week for low pay be human trafficking? That's what they're charging these people in Ohio with. That temp agency I was telling you about, that's what they're charging them with, is human trafficking. Nettie W, how do I juice my muscadines? I have found the absolute best way to juice anything is with a steam juicer. Okay. We tried using a juicing press last year and it just got too much pulp in it. But I mean, this year I have juiced strawberries, plums, peaches, grapes, muscadines, blueberries. I think that's it. Yeah, I made 6 different types of wine this year. And it's not perfect. It's 95% perfect. I still get a little bit of the pulp in there, and not necessarily the pulp, but I still get some solids in the juice. Very fine particulates and stuff. But after I ferment everything, and then, I mean, if you're just making muscadine juice or grape juice or peach juice or whatever, just to drink as a glass of juice, I mean, a little bit of pulp's not going to buy it. In a bottle of wine, you don't want pulp. And so after I ferment everything, then I just set it up for a few days with some wine clarifier, and it does pretty good. So, but yeah, as for how do I juice everything at this point, the steam juicer is my go-to. We should Dead Sea Pirate, thank you for the super sticker. I appreciate that. You can see it when I came here. It just passed as I'm rolling back up the screen here. Okay, so look where it was. It's the top, and that's it. 11-acre dream. How will I handle a complete dietary change? Okay, are we on the time machine again? Because that's what I did back in February. Remember? We went to a complete dietary change where literally I eat 98% of my diet is strictly meat. That's it. I had a couple of tomato slices with my hamburger patties for dinner tonight. So yeah, I've already gone through the complete dietary change. Okie Forge, we all appreciate everything you do. We don't like it when a few can't follow the rules on the giveaways, and it's every time that people don't listen. And if they get all pissed off at me because they get tossed, I don't care. Okay? as I've said a million times and stuff like that, you're a prepper. You should be able to follow directions. If you can't, good luck surviving, because unless everybody thinks they're going to be the end all be all in an SHTF situation, it doesn't work that way. You know, there's going to be people that are going to know more about pick something medical or electrical or preservation of food or gardening or something. And if these people are come up and say, well, I understand you're a master electrician, but I thought I'd wire it this way instead. Goodbye. That's how that's going to work. Leslie Enoch, I'm in North Carolina. Yesterday, I sat on my porch and a group of newcomers walked up my street. One was riding a bike and a woman was pulling three young kids in a shiny new red wagon. They have babies every year. Yep. Well, okay. And again, and I think most people understand this, at least most conservatives understand. There's a difference between illegals and immigrants. And if we have, I mean, Mrs. P is an immigrant. Okay, granted, she's been here for 10 years now, but there's plenty of people that come into this country legally every year. And that's good. We need it. We don't have the birth rate to maintain the country, so we need to have immigration, as the country, the businesses get bigger and need more employees. And there's a boatload of reasons, okay, that we need population growth, not depopulation. But the difference is the illegals, no, I'm sorry. It's one of the things that pisses me off more than anything else is here's your $5,000 Visa card, here's your housing allowance, here's your food stamps, and I've told you guys this many times. And when Mrs. P came over, when we went through all the paperwork and a year's worth of crap to get Mrs. P over here, I had to sign documentation that said I am financially responsible for her for 10 years. So it wasn't one of these things where, she'd come over here, get her U.S. citizenship, and divorce me, right? No, she's not eligible to collect welfare, unemployment, food stamp. No, unemployment. I don't know about unemployment. That's possible. But welfare, food stamps, anything like that, no. I'm financially responsible for her up until she's been here for 10 years. Why is it that we do that for legal immigrants, but we don't do that for illegal immigrants? Donald Armentor, wondering if the longshoreman strike is going to be shut down like the railroad strike. That's going to be an interesting one. We'll know. I was reading a little bit on that, but we've still got another 9 days before that one comes up. And then we also have an interesting one with the Boeing strike possibly coming up. So I don't see how that's going to be a bad thing. Boeing can't keep a plane in the air. So, maybe getting rid of some of the people that work at Boeing might not be a bad idea. Annie, I have extremely compacted soil and I'm considering using gypsum. Any tips or recommendations? Yeah, the first one I will give you is don't use gypsum, because if you have compacted soil, when you put gypsum in there, now you're going to have concrete. Okay. If you have compacted soil, the best thing that I can tell you to do is get in there and till it up a little bit, break it up as best you can. Okay. I mean, even if you only break it up a couple inches, and dump everything and anything you can in regards to all your grass clippings, all the leaves that you're going to get in the fall. You're pulling out plants right now. Run the lawnmower up. Any sort of organic material you can get. Leaves, grass clippings, weeds, whatever it is. Chop that all up and get that in with that compacted soil that you broke up, even if it's only a couple inches. The reason it is compacting is you don't have any organic material in it. You need to get the organic material. Do not put gypsum in there. Gypsum will turn your soil into concrete. Leslie Enoch, 2 nights ago, a Haitian pulled up in front of my place trying to sell me a den comforter set. Yeah, where did they steal that from? Uh, it, yeah, the days of the door-to-door salesman guys are gone. Okay, when's the last time somebody's seen a guy knock, knock, knock? Mrs. Jones, are you interested in buying a vacuum or a set of encyclopedias? I mean, those are things that people did 60, 70 years ago. They don't do that anymore. You know, anybody knocking on your door, other than the 11-year-old running around trying to raise money for his Pee Wee football league or something, uh, yeah, no, you're either buying stolen goods or they're trying to break into your house. Laura Story, Pinball. I planted ever-bearing strawberry starts a month ago. Ate some berries today. There you go. Good deal. So, obviously, you've got good soil and uh, kept them well watered. Whether you got the rain, God knows we haven't got the rain. But cool. Now just get what you can and let them spread, and you should have yourself a good patch. Difference between everbearing and June bearing, yeah, you're going to get a constant, however many strawberries. It will make it more difficult if you want to make batches of jams, jellies, wine, strawberry syrup, anything like that, because you're going to wind up picking the 3 dozen strawberries you get, putting them in the freezer, picking up another 3, and you're going to have to wait, as opposed to when I can pick my strawberries with June bearing strawberries, I get them all in a couple of weeks. That's strawberry processing time, and that's done. I'm done with the bed. Good and bad. Mike D, will I live stream on election night? I haven't decided yet. I don't know. It depends on a lot of things, because usually that's 8 o'clock. That's when the polls start closing, but I don't know yet. All right. Sherry Shaw, every state could provide civilian security for Trump. Yeah, it's not like there's not a whole lot of veterans out there who are going, hey, you know what? I don't want to do this. There's no problem whatsoever. Farm Ranch Homestead, look up Tyson Foods. They own a lot of other companies. To boycott them is boycott all their subsidiaries. Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's like Smithfield or something. Uh, you got to look into the depth of it. And that's how they try to hide things too. It's like, oh, if if this brand is doing bad, we'll just move over to this. You Tony Lawrence, according to some in Springfield, Ohio, they're finding cat carcasses, and one farmer found 2 horse carcasses. Yeah, I saw the story on the horse carcasses today. It was just up the road too. That's pretty bad. Uh, ENG 1142. I applied for work at a Tyson factory, and it was dirty there. I never been in one, so I can't speak of cleanliness or dirtiness. I mean, there's nothing Tyson I eat anyway, because I personally don't really care for fried food, and their fake fried food is, maybe there's chicken in it, but God knows there's enough chemicals. JD Marie, the list of who to buy from and do business with is becoming shorter and shorter. Yeah, and that's actually a good thing, because what it means is those companies that actually put out a quality product with quality service at a good price will eventually rise to the top. Gee, Bud Light's struggling. Oh, gee, I don't. Not that it bothers me. Bud Light's piss water. If you want a beer, go drink a good one. I mean, there's thousands of microbreweries in this country that make a better beer than Bud Light, but yet everybody drinks Bud Light. Why? But if those companies start going out of business, good. They have a crap product anyway. Sherry Shaw, we have chickens, meat, and eggs. Rabbits, have our own garden, have been prepping since 2012. You know who we're voting for and have been since 2020. Right there with you. Except I don't have the chickens or the rabbits, okay? But yeah, for knowing who I'm voting for, yeah, I've known who I've been voting for since 2016. And as soon as whoever the successor to Donald Trump is named for 2028, I'll know pretty quick whether or not I'm going to vote for them too. But I will tell you this: it ain't going to be. I mean, honestly, who's the Democrats going to put up in 2028? Gavin Newsom, Gretchen Whitmer, Kathy Hochul, Josh Shapiro, Andy Beshear. I mean, these are the. I wouldn't, my old line. I wouldn't piss on them if they were on fire. Okay? You know, burn, baby, burn. I'll be happy. I'll roast marshmallows over your carcass. Purple EA. 20 years ago, when I worked for a certain state agency, went into a chicken processing plant. Coworker yelled, "Immigration!" The entire processing when I went out the back door. Yeah, doesn't surprise me. That's what goes on down in I was in Arkansas and Mississippi too. A couple more here. Caveman, look, Biden goes home every weekend. Is there a visitor log at his home? Anyone see this? I don't know if there is, but that's another. I mean, you know how much dirty business Joe is in. Joe has got his hands filthy. I mean, they've already proven $27 million worth of it, and I mean, I wouldn't bet that that's 1/10 of what he's actually scammed. Bernadette Prada. I live in Philadelphia. I went in a Walmart. All their underwear was locked up. I walked out. They're stealing them. Yeah. Oh, I mean, why wouldn't they? When the states come up and say anything under $1,000, we don't prosecute you for it. No, cool. If I'm not getting arrested, I'm taking it. Right? You know, the funny thing is, I'm still not going to walk in a store and steal something. It's just it, because I know it's just I'm being watched. You know, and thou shalt not steal. Yeah, there you go. Who's your daddy? The Scarecrow from Wizard of Oz has more brains than Cackles McKnee pads. I saw that nickname yesterday. I think it was on Twitter. I thought it was absolutely hilarious. Cackles McKnee pads. Let's see. Staytime 85. Got a potato question. Why do mine keep eyeing a couple of months after harvest? Aren't they supposed to remain dormant till spring? No. They, I mean, literally, if you leave the potatoes in the ground and don't harvest them, those potatoes that you grew this year will start trying to grow again. I mean, remember what a plant's purpose is to reproduce. That's it. It's not going, oh, gee, John's got to pick me because I'm food this year. No, it's going, okay, I need to reproduce. I need to keep my bloodline going. So, yeah, you'll have your potatoes start to chit already. And it's not a big thing. This is why I say don't put it in a paper bag in a dark place because then you're going to have tentacles with the thing. G Long 4402. Reagan even said that he didn't leave the Democrat Party; they left him. Yeah, and you're hearing that from a lot of people. Don't you know that? About every week we hear another Democrat somewhere says they're abandoning the Democrat Party and voting for Trump. We don't hear Republicans, at least true conservatives, say they're abandoning the Conservative Party because they want to vote for Kamala Harris. Now, granted, Adam Kinzinger, Liz Cheney, Dick Cheney, they're not Republicans. Okay, they never were. They're not conservatives. They just ran on a ticket because that was the way to get elected. Just like David Haley, just like several former Democrats have said, I didn't leave the party; they left me. Yes. PNT Twister. What did I think about the sheriff and the judge in Kentucky? If you guys didn't hear this, the sheriff went in and killed the judge because was it his daughter or his wife? That part I forget. I want to say it was his daughter. That the judge was sleeping with his daughter. That the judge was a pedophile, and so the sheriff shot him. It's going to be interesting to see how that one played out. Personally, I think justice has already been served. Give the sheriff a pat on the back, put him back to work. All right. One more, if I can find one here. RLRL, I find it odd that Obama can live anywhere he wants, but lived in D.C. for 8 years now. Yeah, please remind me what other president has ever bought a condo right up the street from the White House, right? Because Obama's still running the country. This is it. Him and Susan Rice and the rest of his cast of clowns. It's time to get rid of the criminal cartel that is the Obama coalition. All right, guys. We're until 10:11. Make up for those 11 minutes. But I'm gonna go back and watch you. We'll see you in the morning. Pinball out.